Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Famous Rapper Convos, the show where we interview music artists once a year to check in on their progress towards becoming a famous rapper. Today, we have a very special guest, Jimmy the Human. Jimmy the Human, say what's up.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, and then this is kind of Groundhog's Day. We just started this, and I said that I had to change your name in the chat, and then I did so again. So there we go. So now, Jimmy the Human, if you could think back to like the first time you were exposed to music up until today, and in about 3 minutes, summarize the story of you as an artist, what does that story sound like?
I've loved rap my entire life. I've loved music my entire life. The first song I memorized every word to was Mockingbird by Eminem. I was like 6 years old at the time. I was listening to a lot of 50 Cent, Chingy as well back then, and like R&B artists too. In fifth grade, I took saxophone lessons. I started playing the saxophone with like the kids at school and in like the like free band practice. And I had so much fun. That was like one of my favorite parts of school for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and stupidly, I quit band in sixth grade because I realized like all the weird kids were doing band in middle school. And I didn't want to be a weird kid. I want to be a cool kid. So kids, if you're listening at home, don't fucking quit band. Can I swear? Don't.
Well, you addressed kids and then swore.
Kids at home, don't swear. No, kids at home, don't quit band because you think it might make you cooler. Honestly, it might make you cooler if you don't do band, but it's not worth it. You could still be cool. All right. It's just so those are free music lessons. Music lessons are very, very, very expensive, and your brain is still in a malleable state when you're in your younger years, adolescent years. Anyways, yeah, so
Good
middle
point.
school came around. That was when I started writing raps. I started writing diss tracks. Those were like my first raps, and you can hear it in my in my writing style today. It's pretty clear that I started out by like dissing people, and that's pretty deeply ingrained. Like the disrespect and edgy lyrics are a huge part of what I do today. Still, high school, enter drugs and alcohol. Once I started smoking weed all the time, I really started to freestyle a lot, and freestyling was so fun and my friends loved to do it, so I started beatboxing, and I got really good at beatboxing, and so that just like was a hobby more than anything. We just like really loved the feeling of getting baked and then trying to like find some cool flows. Continued to write raps, every once in a while, once every 6 months or so I might write a 16 or write a whole song, but nothing too serious. And then college came around. I went to college for a couple years, and that was when I met Benji, who's I've collaborated with a whole lot. And he's my closest collaborator, one of my closest friends, and he was like driven. He was like, the first guy that I met that was like trying to do something with music. And so like then I recorded like my first songs, just a couple songs in college, and still was like slacking off. And from then to now, it's been a very gradual progression of taking it from like something I knew I like to do and something I even really love to do. And so there was some sort of passion there, some sort of feeling that felt right. And little by little, I kind of realized it kind of became this thing where it just grew inside of me. This love just grew and manifested. And now it's at the point where like I can feel it in my core. It's been like this for like at least 5 years now, which is crazy to think. But like I can just feel in my gut that like I need to work on music. And if I am not working hard enough on it, like my insides will like turn upside down. I'll feel like I'm like rotting from the inside out. I start to feel like dirty. And I feel like less confident. I start to maybe get depressed. But then if I start to work hard on music again and start to push myself and do the right things and improve as an artist and release songs, then I feel better again. And that's how I got here.
Cool. That was great. So you said you've liked music your whole life. You actually said something about 5 years old. Was there something that
Yeah,
happened at that time?
yeah. I think around like age 6 was when I memorized every word to Mockingbird, and that was
Oh,
the first
Mockingbird, right?
two. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So you memorized Mockingbird when you were like 6, and then you started played saxophone in I think like 5th grade. But then 6th grade you quit. And in middle school you did some diss tracks. In high school you learned how to freestyle. In college you recorded your first 2 songs with your friend Benji. Since college, you like those music videos you made. When did those get created?
So the music videos got created in 2019, and 2018, I was actually living out in Columbus at the time, like for a while when I was first going to college. So that's like 2013, 2014, right? And then I moved back to Portland because I realized I love music, and maybe I need to see this thing out. Spent the next few years kind of procrastinating a little bit. Like I knew that I loved it. I knew this was something I kind of wanted to do with my life if possible, but learning to be your own boss is extremely difficult, and that's a whole nother conversation. Self-discipline is a tough lesson for a lot of people to learn, a lot like me. So then 2018 comes around. Benji and I are like, all right, by the end of this year, by the end of 2018, we have to drop Melancholy Blue. Melancholy Blue, we knew we wanted that to be the name of our first mixtape that we released. And we were like, it's got to be done by the end of this year, because if we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. We're going to keep putting it off. So I moved out to Columbus for 5 months to finish Melancholy Blue with Benji. And then we dropped it on New Year's, January 1st of 2019. And 2019, that marks, to answer your question, when I started doing the videos. 2019, I was like, you know what? This year, I need to have like a specific measurable goal, because if I don't force myself to drop songs, I won't drop them. It's just like I'll procrastinate, like I said before. I'll just fuck off and waste time doing other stuff. So I'm like, how can I make sure I get it done? Well, what if I drop one song and video every 2 weeks? I was like, yeah, I can do that. I have a few songs already done. A couple other verses like already written that I can maybe use later in the year. The video, if I don't have time for a real video, I'll just do a mic video and just put something out every 2 weeks, see what happens. And that was without a doubt the most productive year of my life, the best year of my life, the most important year of my life. Yeah, I would highly recommend doing something like that for any artist that is trying to improve or take their skills, take their fan base to the next level.
Mm-hmm. So you started releasing music videos for new songs every 2 weeks. Did you do it? Did you miss any weeks? And how many weeks in a row did you do it? Or how many weeks total? Or like how many releases total?
So the plan was to do one from January 1st, 2019, all the way through the year, to drop a new song and video every other Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And
So 26.
yeah, and I was doing well with that. But then August came around and life was crazy. Like I don't things were just moving so fast, and the workload was pretty big pain in the butt, because I was making actual music videos at this point, with a $0 budget. So I literally, other than holding the camera, I was doing everything. I mean, my videographers, I appreciate them so much for their hard work, them showing up willing to not be paid and all. But when you don't pay someone to make your videos and you're working with people that have never made music videos before, like, it is a literal fuck ton of work. So when August came around, I kind of like, my plate was full. And at this point, I didn't even know I had type 1 bipolar disorder. I had already been to the mental hospital once in my life in 2018, like winter of 2018, but we didn't know exactly why. We thought maybe it was a combination of like sleep deprivation and like stress from my job and stuff. But then in August, I've come to find out it was a manic episode because in August of 2019 I had another one. And yeah, sleep deprivation was a contributor. Honestly, just the excitement of the music was a contributor. I really felt like the music was going somewhere. Like I was gaining this momentum with fans and stuff, and talking to so many, interacting with so many fans, and seeing thousands of strangers like tell you your stuff is dope or to keep going or they love your voice, they love your lyrics. Like it's a weird feeling. It does it. I don't know. It just, it gets you this certain like feeling of excitement. I was also like fucking with this girl that had a boyfriend, and so all of these contributors basically led to my mental collapse. It put me into a state of mania, and I was hospitalized against my will in late August. I had to stay, but well, I was originally cuffed and thrown in the back of a cruiser because my sister, like, she wanted the best for me and she knew I needed help, and so she finally found a police officer that was willing to essentially trick me, into being brought in, and got brought in, for about a week. Like I said, I was going through it. Was stuck in the hospital, but then when I came out, I released like a couple more videos, and then eventually, after about a month of being manic, I finally like started to feel like myself, and it was the weirdest sensation coming down. Like I remember like waking up this one morning. I think it was like, yeah, and I just felt exhausted. It was like around the time of my birthday, and so September 9th, around then, and I was just like so tired, and I just remember thinking about like all the crazy stuff I had done while I was manic, like the amount of money I had spent, the friendships I had probably ruined forever, all the ludicrous things I said, the people I threatened, and just an absolute mess of shit, unfortunately. And I was like, I gotta stop with the bi-weekly releases. So I didn't finish the year. I decided I would take that time for myself to just kind of recover and figure out how I'm gonna financially sort my life back out. um, I went from having a savings account of, having savings of maybe like 6 grand or so between like my savings account and stocks, to being like 20 grand in credit card debt because I just completely lost my mind. It's very common of bipolar folks when they have a manic episode to completely lose all financial reasoning and just believe that you can spend infinity money. Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Wow.
Uh, but anyway, that I did not finish the year, and so I did end up dropping like 30 something songs that year, just with the bi-weekly releases I did finish, also the songs I featured on, and I did a couple ciphers as well.
Mm. Wow. That's a huge year.
Yeah.
So after that year, coming into 2020, what was that like? Were you totally off rap at that point, or were you still making music?
So in 2020, I wasn't off rap, but it's very common for bipolar folks after a manic episode to become very depressed, and that's exactly what happened. For about 8 months, I was in a very, very, very dark state. The most depressed I'd ever been in my life, and it's funny. One thing I learned from that is that there's no amount of like success or no number of fans or followers or streams or dollars that's gonna make you stop doubting yourself. Some people don't doubt themselves very much. Some people really like believe in themselves fully. Like Jay-Z to me is an example of like someone who is just so comfortable in their own skin. I'm not one of those people. I very much am insecure. I cringe at almost every song I've ever dropped. It's like I listen to my own shit and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I thought that sounded good at one point. But wait, fuck, what was the question?
No, interesting. Yeah, that was great. Thanks for sharing that. You're getting real raw, and I love it. Th- the question was just like, well, okay. So let me ask this. What are three things that you learned in 2020?
Oh, right. In 2020 was I just off of the, yeah. So to answer your question, because I was so depressed, I was like very hesitant and like I was doubting myself a lot and I like didn't believe in myself anymore. And I like didn't have it in me to release music, even though I was still making songs and good
Mm,
songs like Chugga I made in that during that dark time. The song I just dropped and other songs that I'll be dropping this year, I made in that time. That's very common for me, at least, to make a song years prior and then finally release it way later. Three things I learned in 2020.
yeah.
So the first thing that comes to mind: get outside, spend time outdoors.
Uh huh.
Um,
That's a
because
big
of
one.
quarantine, I spent a lot of time outside, and at first I thought I didn't work hard enough on music in 2020, which is true. I should have worked harder, but I was really beating myself up about it. And I was journaling at the time, actually. I was just like writing down my thoughts, which is a very good exercise. But I was like writing about how I need to be more ambitious musically. And then I started to write the things I did well in 2020. And I've started writing down all the things I did outside, all the new places I saw in Maine and in other states. And I realized like, wow, like I spent so much time outdoors this year, like going to the beach, camping, hiking, you name it, fishing, and I feel so good about that.
That's
But yeah,
beautiful.
that's important.
That's a
I,
big thing for me. Where if I don't go outside for two full days in a row without being outside, will just make me feel like terrible. So I'll
mm,
always go for like long walks around the lake at least once a week, and then I try to like go outside every day. Otherwise, it's like I literally live in a closet. So like, and this is where I work, and so I can spend like full days just like in this closet with no windows. So I
mm.
need to make sure to go take walks.
Holy cow! Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Sometimes I bitch about not getting outside in my room, but it's not a closet, man. That's
Well, I have an apartment and I do spend time out there as well.
mm,
But this is like where my desk is. So most of the
gosh,
time when I'm working, I'm here. Yeah. Um,
gotcha.
cool. Did you have another lesson that you learned in 2020 to add?
For sure. Yeah. So another lesson I learned in 2020, a lesson I learned for myself is that I want to make money off music. I've taken it pretty far, and I realized that if I'm going to be putting songs out there on Spotify and Apple Music and all these other platforms, just to be, judged and critiqued and to make myself vulnerable like that, like I want to be compensated for it.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that you said that I found interesting was that in 2019, you were making songs and dropping songs almost like immediately after creating them, and so you were just like creating and dropping and creating and dropping, creating and dropping. Whereas in 2020, you said that you kind of went dark for a little bit, but you were still making songs and kind of building more of a catalog that you're going to be releasing next this year. Is that
Mm,
about right?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's funny, like a big part of that is like now that I talk to you, I didn't realize it, but like a big part of it is just like a difference in mindset. Is like in 2019, I believed in myself, and I believed that like when I made a song, I'm like, oh, like this people might like this. Like this actually has potential, but then like and so I was just fucking banging them out. Yeah, that's good enough. It's about there. Let's drop it. And in 2020, it's like nothing's ever good enough, like this shit's all garbage. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to, yeah, why
Okay.
people are gonna, yeah.
But for these songs in 2020, have you been finishing songs where they're like ready to release, or like do like one more mix and master, or like what has your process been in 2020 creating songs?
Yeah, so in 2020, that's a good question. It depends on the song too. So like I released a song called Even in the Dark in 2020. That was another one I made in like November of 2019. It was me and Benji on that one as well. And yeah, it was fully mastered actually back in like December of 2019. Like we just didn't upload it.
Hmm.
And if you were to ask me why we didn't upload it, I really couldn't give you a very good answer. Everything was done. We just hadn't done it yet. But a lot of the time, like I'll have a song like Jack Harlow has a song called River Road, and I just love that instrumental. To me, that instrumental is just like so timeless and unlike anything else he's ever dropped. And so I was like, man, I gotta write on this shit. And so I wrote something on it and I recorded it in the studio, and it's like 70% of the way done. Like I think it's been mixed once, but like so yeah, like that's a song that's done, but still needs like a few tweaks. I probably need to redo some of the vocals and
Hmm.
stuff. Yeah, so it really depends on the song.
Okay, gotcha. And so like when you were putting them out right away, you always had like a deadline for completely finishing a song. And in 2020, it seems like you were doing it more just for fun. Like as inspiration hit you, you would go write and record something.
Yeah, yeah, definitely as inspiration to hit me, and inspiration was hard to come by just because of the like depressed state I was in.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So, looking forward to 2021, like if you were to imagine yourself 12 months from now, where do you hope to be with your music or in life? Like, what are, and like walking from now until there, like, what are some of the milestones you hope to see along the way?
2021, I think it would be awesome if I was making at least $1,000 per month on revenue, like music revenue. It doesn't have to be profit, for those who didn't go to business school. That's basically just like revenue would be like before all my expenses and shit. I think if I could do $1,000 or more in revenue, that'd be awesome. Even if I only took home 500 in profit because I spent $500 a month on like my equipment, and like my studio time and that shit.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's like my primary goal, I think, right now.
Okay, and then so you hope that by January of 2022, you would be making $1,000 per month consistently.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Nice. So like what are some of the things that you would happen before that happens? What's the road leading up to that?
More listeners, right? So for me, I look at royalty streaming revenue, like streaming royalties, as a very powerful income stream because, well, for a number of reasons, but especially because that means people are coming back to listen to my songs again. That means they're saving them to my library. Another piece of that is going to be like launching my web store and selling merch. Yeah, that'll definitely be part of it. I would say those are like the two major components right now where live performing is kind of kind of out of the question with COVID, or at least a challenge. I wouldn't, I can't really count on that too much right now, unfortunately, because that's like arguably the biggest like income source for artists right there is like touring. That's
Hmm.
where a lot of, especially like medium to big names, like that's where they make a huge chunk of their money. I want to say the majority of their money in most cases.
Yeah. Have you played any live shows before?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done a whole bunch of live shows.
When were those? 2019?
Yep, yeah. Some 2019. I mean, I think my first one was in like, well, I technically did a talent show in like 2015 or 2014 or something. But then like an actual show where like I was performing. I did an open mic in 2015, and then I think I was actually like on bill for a show in like 2016 or 17 for the first time.
Hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
So like about how many total would you say?
Number of shows I did total 8.
Okay, cool.
Nine.
I just Googled it really quick, and then it says to make $1,000 per month from Spotify streams, you need 250,000 streams per month.
240,000.
That's a lot of streams. Two hundred
That is
fifty
a lot.
thousand.
Two hundred
Yeah,
fifty
for
thousand.
to make $1,000 per month on streams alone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but there are other ways to make money. But do you have a job right now?
I do, yeah.
What do you
Uh,
do if you don't mind me asking?
oh, not at all. So I trim weed. The weed market here is like booming. We've got some great product, and I get paid by the pound. I get paid in cash. It's a great gig.
Nice. So for 2021, your goal of making $1,000 per month, um, like who do you think would be the most help for you in achieving that goal? Like what type of person? Like if you think about everything involved in your music, like what piece is missing? Would you say, as a if you put into a person?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I asked that terribly. Okay, so looking forward to 2021. In terms of building a team, I think you've done most of these things on your own. But if there was somebody that could help you achieve your goals, like what type of person do you think would be most helpful to meet in 2021?
That's a great question, man. I would say, okay, I got it. Someone who is well established in the industry, who believes in me, who has money that they're willing to invest in me, and has the connections to get me on like popular podcasts and radio shows. That would be like the ideal person, like picture perfect.
Okay, that's great. So if anyone out there watching this fits that description, how can they reach you?
Oh my god. Just fucking DM me on Instagram. Yeah, or like comment on one of my YouTube videos or something. No, but DM on Instagram would be the best way. I try to respond to every fan who DMs me on Insta, because I think that's a cool little thing.
Nice, perfect.
No problem,
I
man.
have a question for you, which is, what was the process like helping Jason to create his first album?
So the process, it was a lot of being in the room while he's showing me a song he wrote, or a guitar riff, and just a lot of like him using me as a backboard. So he'd like play the song and I'd be like, "Oh, that's dope," but like, what if, for like, what if like on the G string, like you put your finger on like the fifth fret, like what would that sound like for this note, you know? And then he'd do it that way, and we go back and forth. Or I'd be like, "Oh man, that lyric is so interesting. Like, what does that mean?" And then a big part of it is just like I think one of my skills is just when my friends send me songs that they make, like just being able to point out little, I don't want to say errors, because they're not errors, or but just like pointing out details that make them less marketable. Like I think for some reason that's a strength of mine. And so I would tell him a lot of stuff like that, like there was like a lot of the time, like Jason would like to end his bars, like when he's singing, like the last syllable, he kind of like to keep it like short and concise, and I would like want to hear that last bar like dragged out, like let your voice go for a little while and have a nice smooth fade out. And it was a lot of that. Yeah, just a lot of like fine tuning. But then there's one song on his album where I do all the vocals, and the beat was actually produced by Jason, me, and Benji. Um, and so that was a really cool experience, because that song doesn't sound like anything that I've made, or that any of us have made. So that was a fun little experiment.
What's it called? Is it out?
But yeah, that song is called Summer. summer 2015, because Jason and I, that was a pivotal summer for us, and that was like when we both realized like how much we love music, and we both realized like we need to actually like try, we need to actually put forth an effort and see how far we can take this music shit.
Wow. Summer 2015 by who?
By Jason Rubinoff.
Rubinoff. Let's see if it comes
Yeah.
up. Ooh, there it is.
No,
Would you be interested in doing a live reaction to this?
a live reaction. I'll do a live reaction, man.
All right, let's do it. And here we go. Can you hear it?
Yep.
All right, let me know if you want me to pause it, and we can add some commentary.
You can pause it right now. Hopefully I don't talk through the whole fucking song, but right off the bat, so you hear that little catchy riff. So that's Jason on the ukulele, and that was kind of like the bread and butter of the beat. Like he first sent me the beat, and it was just really just that riff and like some simple drums. But you can also hear in that intro piece, you can hear faintly like basically the sound of kids playing on a playground. And the reason for that was Benji's idea. And the reason for that is because like this song, a big part of the song and a big theme of the song is like the whole transition from adolescence and the freedom, the fun, spirited energy of youth and that like recklessness. Like it's like that meeting adulthood and being surrounded by like your friends who are getting mortgages and like getting married and fucking working at like accounting firms, and like here I am, still like getting high all the time, like hoping one of these fucking rap songs makes me enough money to get Burger King for dinner, and yeah, so that's the reason for that, like the children playing faintly in the background in the beginning.
That was some great inspiration for a song too. I'm probably gonna like take that clip and then it's like use this for inspiration to write a song, because I feel like that's a pretty relatable thing. All right, let's go.
Rap is easy for me, but this feature's hard. Most important feature that I've done by far. Still I'm writing like we're playing in the yard, cause we are. I'm still rapping like I'm packing Catherine Zeta-Jones until she's overpacked. ODing before I pass out on Jason's lawn and wake up and nothing but shoulder pads. Stuck in the cul-de-sac, trapped inside a dream. No wonder I always feel I'm about to split it seems. How the fuck you justify yourself? Really look inside yourself. I don't know about you, but
no. Catherine Zeta-Jones is what we named a bong that we made in high school. So it was Spirit Week, which, are you familiar with Spirit Week? That's like a pretty universal thing, right?
Yeah.
So we were like at Goodwill just getting a bunch of ridiculous clothes for Spirit Week, me, Jason, and our buddy Kevin, and we were standing in line to check out, and I saw a vase Goodwill had for sale. And I was like, dude, you could totally make that vase into a bong if you just drilled a hole in it. And they were like, dude, you could. And so then like I went and looked at it, and it was like $8. I'm like, dude, this thing's $8. Like we gotta buy it. And we did. And so we drilled a hole in it, and yeah, we decided to name it Catherine Zeta-Jones. The name was inspired by a Workaholics episode. But I think she is actually a real person, like an actress or something.
Yeah, yeah, she is.
But yeah, anyway,
right.
that's that lyric explained.
There's no snares.
Yeah, that was
Never grown. I'll let y'all got it wrong. Let me be just
one of my in a while. Everybody getting married, everybody getting old, but the wedding's like a funeral if she replaces the friends. Like some weddings or funerals for the homies. You know,
Oh,
the old ball and chain. It's like, and I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like I see it all the time, dude. Like just some of my guy friends that are just like at their girl's beck and call, and if she wants them to do this, then they're not going to do what they actually want to do, and it's like, wow, like you kind of lose your friends to women in a way.
well, it's for the good of the team.
Yeah. Oh, and there's some electric guitar happening in the background in the chorus. It's like the riff is like do 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 do, and that's me on the electric guitar in that part, and then that guitar comes back in at the outro, and that was also me who put that
All right.
in there. It's actually originally performed on a. I literally just put my vocal mic up to my keyboard and just like put an electric guitar tone on the keyboard and like ghetto rigged it, which is why it sounds all weird.
It's grungy.
Yeah.
Grown, never grown. You're a kid, then it's gone. Fuck that shit, I'm headed home, man. Never grown, never grown. All of y'all got it wrong. Leave me be, just let me roam. Damn. Never grown, never grown. You're a kid, then it's gone. Fuck that shit, I'm headed home, like. Got so many deadlines, but I need a lifeline. 200 deadlines, and I still don't make headlines. That's a train of thought to make me grip that M9. Shit, I'm taking life too seriously. This that knick-knack, patty-whack, give a thought a bone. It's that sit-back, patty-wagon, ball up to the dome. It's that kid that's 24 and scared of growing old. It's that drip, 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 drip.
That's
Drip, drip. Got a beat I won't skip. Got that drip, 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 drip. Nice. Good song.
Oh, thanks, man. Dude, I'll have to hop in for your Thursday night cipher or something.
Yeah, we can save it for that. Oh, and I also want to say Thursday before that cipher, I'm doing a networking event for rappers where rappers can meet rappers. And so you join in, and then it's 8-minute conversations over video, and then you're given like a question, kind of like a question that I would ask on this show, and then you can talk about it with the other rapper you get matched with.
Oh, dope. Okay.
You interested
I
in
like
that?
that
I
a
can send
lot.
you the invite.
That's a cool idea, man.
Cool. All right. So I'm gonna have one more question, which is, well, do you like to listen to albums, or do you mostly listen just to like playlists?
Good question. When music first comes out, I will give the whole album a chance. Like for instance, like Kid Cudi and Jack Harlow, first two recent albums that come to mind. Like those actually dropped on the same day, if I remember correctly, and that day I listened to both of them all the way through. Um,
Okay.
but now I like if I were to go back and listen to that Cudi album, I wouldn't listen to the whole thing. I would just play like whatever song I'm in the mood for, or whatever song I'm in the
Mm,
mood for. And same with Jack Harlow, very seldom will I actually save a whole album to my library. Um, because usually I don't like every song. Like I don't get pleasure out of every song, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I see. So you listen to the album, kind of as like, you take it all in, and then you figure out which ones you like. So
Yeah, that's usually what happens. And if it's been a long time, like my taste changes so much over time, it's actually crazy to observe. Like I'll go back and listen to albums that I didn't enjoy for whatever reason when I first heard them, and I'll be like, "What the hell was I thinking? Like this album is so fire," you know?
mm, yeah. So along those lines, what are two albums that you think are great albums that people should give a second chance to?
Parachutes by Coldplay. Man, people talk so much shit and they like to laugh at me and make fun of me because I love Coldplay. Whatever. I go back and listen to the Parachutes album by Coldplay. It came out in like the year 2000. That album was so ahead of its time. Yeah, super dope. And you said people should give a second chance to. So for that reason, I would have to say, I mean, this is a rap podcast, man. go back and listen to Revival by Eminem. Like, I know that wasn't, I understand why sonically people didn't love it, but here's my ask of people. If you're gonna go back and listen to that album, give it another chance, read the lyrics while you listen. Because like, in my opinion, Eminem was like purposely making his flow like very like choppy and unorthodox. Like, it wasn't supposed to be an album that you can like just like drink to or just like do whatever to. Like, that album was meant to be consumed and used as like a mantelpiece. Like back in the day when people bought vinyl records, like sometimes people would hang out just to listen to music. Nowadays it's like you throw on music in the background while people socialize and while you do something else. But like, that album is like a piece of art that is like, to me, is like incredible. And if I was able to throw in one more like album that's just like ridiculously slept on, Between Somewhere by Token.
Between Somewhere by Token.
Hmm.
I did listen to that. I've heard all of those albums, but wait, no, actually, I don't think I listened to Parachute by Coldplay. But now I'm going to listen to all those albums.
Hell yeah.
Oh shit! I have a really important question. Is it okay if we go a couple more minutes?
Mm.
Okay, so the question that I have is, if you were to recommend, if you could have one of your songs listened to by 1 million people, which song do you think is that song? And it's like people listening to you for the first time. So like, what do you think is the best song for people to hear the first time they listen to you?
Kumbaya. Kumbaya alternate version specifically.
Kumbaya alternate version by Jimmy the Human.
That's right.
All right, cool. So I'll put that as like the next recommended video on this video, so people can check that out now. And lastly, I'll just let you, if there's anything that you want to say to the people here, they've been watching this for about 50 minutes. So what are your closing thoughts?
Thank you so much for listening to this, and thank you for supporting David's channel. Make sure, I got to be that guy real quick. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button.
Down below, leave a
There.
comment with a question you have for Jimmy the Human, and then he'll respond to it.
Comment below, and then go above and type in other social media platforms and follow David on those. Yeah, man. Don't take life too seriously. Meditate. That's all I got.
Ooh, nice. I love meditation. I was thinking about asking you about that, but then I didn't.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm a big advocate of meditation. It's very important to find the off button. We're taught how to do a lot of things, but in Western culture, one thing we are not taught how to do is stop doing, which is ironic and doesn't really make a lot of sense when you think about it. In fact,
And to breathe.
Yes, amen to that. And when you reset your computer, actually, I just like put my phone down and I was like, man, I haven't really meditated much today. So like, I took those couple minutes to just like try and clear my head of any thoughts and focus on the feeling of my breath. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So that's great. And do you do yoga?
Oh, I haven't really done much yoga yet. I've been exposed to it a couple times. Like,
I'll send you some links.
oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, because like times that I did like have someone show me yoga, it was fucking awesome. I just got to give it a fair chance.
I use YouTube videos. It's awesome because people basically just do yoga and then they'll just walk you through step by step. So you don't really have to know anything. You just have to follow directions and you can see how they're doing it, and it's free. And so I use a different, I use like the same yoga video every morning, and then sometimes I change it to a different one, but there's like some that are just really good ones. So I can share those with you.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah, that would be awesome.
All right. Thank you. So once again, thank you so much, Jimmy the Human. Make sure to go drop a comment below and then go above and beyond. This has been David Prorock with Famous Rapper Network. And yeah, I hope everybody does great and has happiness and checks out Jimmy the Human's music. He's got some good music videos out and more on the way. So thank you and good night.
Awesome. Take care, man.
Bye. Thank you. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above. because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love, look what's in focus. Aim for above, cause the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love, look what's in focus. Aim for above, because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love, look what's in focus. Aim for above, cause the ceiling is bogus. I wanna lay down a never-ending road. We never go to